Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. So I have a question today from Jesse, but before I get to Jesse's question, I just want to mention that the Little School of Big Change February course is starting today. So students are in, they're watching the first lessons, they're on the forum introducing themselves and getting support already. I'm so excited. Love this week. I love the first week of school. Our calls start next week, so we are still enrolling through Thursday this week. And I'd love to have you in the course if it's something you've been thinking about, if it's on your mind, or if you just are ready to see things in a really deep, really new way. If you're wanting some change in any area of life, this is an amazing program to go through. So you can check it out at littleschoolbigchange.com. I also am doing a Q&A session right here as a Facebook Live tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock UK. So if you have any questions at all about the school, how it works, what you can expect, anything, will it work for this, will it work for that, anything at all that you want to talk more about, I'll be on here as long as there's questions. So you can show up at that time. Just come to my Facebook page and you'll see me live, and you can put all your questions in the chat and we can talk about it then. So awesome. I hope to see many of you guys in the school starting this week. Okay, so Jesse's question is, Jesse says, hi, I read your book, referring to the Little Book of Big Change, I think. I easily quit smoking. I can recognize an urge to smoke as just a thought, and I can let it come and go. It was easy to quit smoking. It's awesome. But I cannot find any thoughts about destroying my fingers. I don't even know I'm doing it, referring to nail biting. There's no urge or thought about it. I suddenly feel pain and realize that I've torn my finger. I can't find any way to stop, and I don't feel like your book addresses this at all. Is there any way you can help? Is there something I'm missing? If there's no urge to dismiss, there's nothing to not act on. What can I do to stop? So I love this question. It's very, very common, very common. And I love this question because it allows us to kind of look at this in a much deeper way than how it is sometimes heard. So how this is often heard, and this is not just you, Jesse, it's not just anyone. This is how a mind will want to hear things. See, our mind, not us, not bigger resonance, but our mind hears things and instantly tries to turn it into a job that it can manage. So a mind will hear something about, urges or cravings or just even habitual reactions like going toward the cigarettes, putting your hands toward your mouth to bite your fingernails. You'll kind of see, okay, that's just conditioned thought. It's habitual conditioned thought. That's 100% true. It is. That's all it is. It's just a machine playing out what it's gotten used to playing out, just conditioning playing out. And a mind will hear that as, oh, okay, so she's saying that's thought and that's going to come up, but I don't have to do that. That I can notice the pull toward the cigarettes or the pull toward biting my nails, and I can, I can dismiss it. I can dismiss it. I can say, oh, no, I don't need to do that. That thought's going to come and go. No problem. And that will start to look to a mind like the formula. That's the formula for how we find freedom and I'm not saying that you did this, Jesse, in any conscious, intentional way. Okay, again, this is not you doing this. This is not you hearing something and trying to turn it into a formula that you can use. It's what a mind does. It's literally how this machine works. So it's like, okay, got it. Thought comes and goes. It'll leave on its own. I don't have to act on it. Therefore, when I feel an urge we'll use the cigarettes because that one fell away easily for you. When I feel an urge to go toward the cigarettes, I can just see that it's thought. I can just let that feeling be there, dismiss it, and boom, I'm a non-smoker before I know it. Now, that's awesome, but that's not really what happened. That's not how anyone finds freedom from anything. It is by recognizing, dismissing, choosing. This comes back around. That's how a mind will tell you that it did it. That's how a mind wants to take credit for everything. A mind will say, oh, it's because I saw this and I chose to not smoke anymore because I see it's just thought and whatever. A mind will put that overlay of that story on top of it again, to kind of take credit for everything, to make it, put it in terms of like it thinks it's running our lives. Our mind thinks it's doing everything. But the thing is, look at that for a second. It's not new by any stretch to see that these habitual thoughts or cravings or urges or conditioning that come up are thought, and then they'll come and go completely on their own. That's not new. I didn't come up with that. People all over the world have been talking about that forever, for ages, right? It's now, it may be new that we see that, and when we deeply see that, like deeply see, wow, experience just rises and falls and it has nothing to do with me, and I don't need to intervene in any way. I don't need to do what my mind tells me to do. Now we can see that insightfully. We can have a true insight where there's some separation in a sense. That's just a way of describing it. Separation in a sense between what's arising and us, like we're not led around by conditioning in the same way when this space grows. But that happened for you, Jesse, and for everyone who experiences change. That happened by insight. That was something that your mind can't package in a nice little soundbite and say, here's what did it. Here's, I'm taking credit for this. It's because I dismissed my urges. We've all known that we could dismiss urges. I mean, the whole time you were smoking, you've known that you can feel an urge to smoke. And if you can't smoke, if you're on an airplane or you're just not in a place where you can do it, you're just going to feel that, and it's going to wax and wane and eventually go away, and then you'll smoke when you get a chance. That's not news to you. So I want you to see, and again, for everyone, this is so helpful because it takes it so much deeper beyond the mind's packaging of things, the mind's formula for things. What leads, now I don't even know exactly, but what leads to deep change, what leads for habits to fall away, is not noticing, recognizing, and dismissing. It's not at all. That's just the story after the fact. It's something like, again, truly seeing, wow, this is impersonal. I'm just putting words to it now too to try to describe it. So it's not any of this really, but there's something much deeper that happens. There's something much deeper when there's a space where there's just experience rising and falling, and there's not this merging with it and trying to change it and manipulate and dismiss it or act on it or not act on it or rewire it or whatever. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. So all the time, Jesse, I see people with habits like you're talking about with your nail biting. You don't know you're doing it. Half the time, most of the time, maybe you have no clue that it's even happening until you find yourself doing it, until you find, like you said, your fingers ripped off, or you find pain. And there actually is a chapter in the little book, A Big Change, where I talk about a woman with this exact same habit that didn't even recognize it until she saw blood on her keyboard. And she thought, oh my gosh, there it goes again. Like I just was biting at my nails out of stress and tension. She didn't even realize it until she saw the blood on her keyboard. This happens with all habits. It happened for me when I was a smoker. I'd have a cigarette. I'd be halfway done with a cigarette and I didn't even remember lighting it. It happens with binge eating. It happens with drinking. It happens with all kinds of things. So again, it's okay because this is not a process of recognizing a thought, catching it, dismissing it. It has nothing to do with those steps. Mind will tell us after the fact, but it has nothing to do with those steps. It's like we keep seeing how life works. Conditioning rises and falls. This body mind is a conditioned machine. That's it. It's a conditioned machine, so it does conditioned stuff. That's not you. That has nothing to do with you. It isn't your problem to fix. It isn't something you need to solve. It's for sure not something you need to recognize and catch and fix. It's just what happens. And as we keep leaning into this bigger exploration, which can take some time. It's maybe not just reading a book, reading the book a few times or really getting in conversation with someone about this stuff. Again, my words will not do it justice, but what seems to sort of happen is we just relax and see, wow, nothing that shows up has any real power. It's just how life is appearing in this moment. It's appearing as, put my fingers in my mouth, and then it's appearing as, oh, I just see what I did. And there's a learning that starts to happen. There's a learning where that's what we call insight, I guess, where we just start to see, and not necessarily in a way that your mind can spit out and repeat and explain to somebody, but it's like in this relaxing, it's like, oh, these patterns kind of lose their oomph. So this body mind is super conditioned, all of them are, right? And when there's a certain level of tension and a living within this body mind conditioning, we feel very run around by it. But as we start to see, no, it's just stuff rising and falling, and again, it means nothing, there's like such a relaxation that happens around it. There's like a loosening. And sometimes what will happen is you'll start to bite your nails and you'll notice a little quicker. And that's because your mind is not like this so much. Our mind starts to relax, things fall away, we lighten up a little bit. And in that space, literally, it's like a space that grows. In that space that grows, you might see your hand going to your mouth, which you never saw before. Who knows how it's going to unfold? But I've seen it umpteen times with thousands of people over many years now. So it's like we can't really describe it. I've written about this so many times. It's not describable exactly, but it's incredibly reliable. It happens as we see that we are not this experience and our aperture widens. Conditioning plays out, and it's like there's room to kind of see the conditioning play out. You notice from the pain, oh my gosh, I'm biting my nails again, and you stop, and some learning happens, and maybe in that again more space grows and more distance grows. So I know that this is a very, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say I know. I feel like perhaps this is a very dissatisfactory answer because there's no new formula to replace your old formula with. There's no like, oh no, it's not about dismissing a thought, it's about this instead. I don't know what the this instead is. What I can say about it though is there's a lot of clinging to thoughts and beliefs and habitual stuff, right? And as we look in this direction, there's like a loosening. There's a seeing, oh, that's all thought. It's all belief. And as we quit grabbing onto new things and we find our mind grabbing onto a new thing and we recognize that, we kind of find ourselves more in like a free fall. You find yourself more in like, okay, I don't know what's what. But in that, it's amazing because there's so much space. There's again just the ability to see something that was happening habitually before that you couldn't even see before, because we tend to go through life with these blinders on, with a very small aperture when we're living in our heads. When our head relaxes, everything widens and stuff is just seen. And again, I hate that answer. I know it sounds very infomercially, like because I can't give you a formula, but life isn't about some formula. It's for sure not our thing to do or manage. And all I can say is I see it over and over and over again, and people will tell you they've found freedom from things, not in the way that they thought they were going to find freedom. It was never about enacting the right steps at the right time. Listen for it. Ask people their change stories. They'll have their own theory about what happened. That's fine. But behind it, there's always some level of relaxing. If you really look, Jesse, at how your smoking quit, again, your mind will tell a story. I saw this, and then I saw that, and then I did this, and now I'm a non-smoker. It's a great linear story that a mind will love to tell. Lots of logic in that. But you look and see if that's really all that there is to it. I bet you're going to feel, no, there was all kinds of little things along the way. There was being with a feeling of wanting to smoke and somehow seeing, okay, no, there's like all kinds of things. Who knows? It's a mystery. I don't know either. Like, we can't explain it, but it happens, and it doesn't happen by dismissing urges. That's not how it works. So I hope this is helpful in some way. Again, if nothing else, I know that my words don't begin to capture this. It's pretty inexplicable. But if you can feel some resonance in what I'm saying, of like, oh yeah, maybe there is just this space where stuff can show up and fall away and it's not so serious. And in that space, we just see new things. That's perfect. That's where we're really pointing in that direction, and keep looking in that direction and you'll keep feeling more and more of that. So thanks for your question, Jesse. I hope this made some shred of sense or you can feel it anyway. Send your questions to AskAmy at thelittleschoolofbigchange.com and join me tomorrow again at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 p.m. UK. If you have questions about the Little School of Big Change, I'll be here answering all of those. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you.